Hi kiddos, it's Miss Jones. Welcome to ELA today. We are going to write a friendly letter today. So I'm going to show you how to address an envelope for a letter and how to address your letter when you're writing it. If you are giving this letter to somebody maybe in your house, your neighbor, someone close to you, you do not have to do the envelope part unless you want to, of course, for good practice, okay? So, when we are going to send a letter to someone, there are three important parts when it comes to the envelope, okay? So the first thing is you write who is receiving the letter in the middle, okay? So I'm going to write to my grandma because I don't really get to see her too much with COVID. So I'm going to write her letter. You can write to anybody. You can write to your friend, to your mom, to your neighbor, to your grandma, to your uncle, to your dog. You can write to anybody, okay? You can read a story to read a letter to your dog. I'm okay with that. Okay, so my grandma's name is Joanna. Darnell. Okay, and then I will put her address here. I'm going to put a fake address right now to show you. So I'm not putting her address out there. But, so you would put the number here, so whatever address it is, and then you would put the street here. So you would put street, whatever the name is of the street. And then you might put, if it's southwest, you'll put the direction. You'll put southwest there. And then you're going to put a comma. And then down here, you're going to put the city and the state. So my grandma lives here. So I'm going to put Tumwater. And then Washington, you're going to abbreviate with the W-A, and they're both capital. Okay? And you're going to put a comma here after your city. And then you can put a little dot here to show that it's an abbreviation. Then you're going to put your zip code down here. 98512 is most likely the zip code if you're in Tumwater, Olympia area. You'll have to double check your address, okay? Next important part. So this is the first important part. We have who it's going to and where it's going. Then this is where you're going to put yourself. This is called the return address. And this is for if it doesn't make it here, if we wrote it down wrong, the mailman or woman will return the letter back to this address here. So you'll realize that they didn't get it. So I'll put my name here. And then I would put my address. I'm not going to put my real address just for those purposes, and you're going to put the same thing here, so different address but the same format. So you'll put the street, maybe the direction, comma, I also live in Tumwater, so I'll put Tumwater, capital W, capital A for Washington, and a dot. Don't forget your comma after your city. Miss Jones always forgets that. And then your zip code, 98512, most likely, unless you are sending a letter far away. Okay, this is the important part that you might have to ask grown-up for, okay? In order to send a letter in the mail, you need a stamp. I don't have one right now. I have to ask my mom. I don't have stamps either. So I have to ask my mom for a stamp here. But a stamp is kind of like a fancy sticker that you pay a little bit of money for. And that is the cost to send a letter to someone else. So you're going to stick a stamp right there. It goes on the right-hand corner right here to send your letter. If you are hand delivering it, you do not have to put a stamp there. Okay? So now that we have our letter addressed, we're going to put this aside here. And we're going to grab either a piece of notebook paper if you want to do a card, anything like that. You can write your letter on anything, okay? First thing is we are going to address our letter now, Okay, so we have a header for our letter. So I'm going to put dear. You always start with dear, and then whoever you're addressing. So I'm going to say grandma. Well, I call her Gram, so I'm going to say Gram. G-R-A-M. And then you put a comma. That's very important, okay? Dear whoever, comma. Okay? Then you're going to write your letter. And then you need to make sure that you sign your letter, okay? So I'm going to start writing my letter to my grandma, and I'll tell you guys how to kind of form your letter and how to end your letter, okay? So I said, Dear Gram, and I haven't talked to my grandma in a while, so she does not know that I'm teaching 3rd grade. Okay, so I'm going to say, I'm officially a 3rd grade teacher. You can skip a line too, or not. Either one is fine. I'm officially a 3rd grade teacher at Black Lake. I'm going to put in parentheses, the best school ever. My grandma already knows it's the best school ever because she knows that my brother and I went here, but it's kind of silly. And she lives close by, so she'll think it's funny. I'm officially a 3rd grade teacher at Black Lake, the best school ever. My class is amazing, because you guys are truly amazing. And I'm so happy to have them. I miss you, and that's a kind of a little abbreviation for and, but you should spell it out. And Pops. The cool thing about letters is you get to do it with your own handwriting, so if you want to add little abbreviations and things, that's okay. Or you get to add little parentheses, because it's not a formal letter. We're just writing it kind of for fun. You just have to make sure if you do a little abbreviations that your recipient of the letter will know what that means. And my grandma does this, so I think she'll know what it means. I miss you and Pops very much. Okay, I'm going to write a little bit more to my grandma, but I will not bore you with the details. But I'm going to sign it down here with love, Gabby. I'm going to put a little heart there. You can put sincerely, comma, your name. You could put with love. You could put XOXO. Whatever you want to put here, you're just going to put a little closing remark. And then you're going to put a comma. Do not forget that. And then your name usually goes on the line below it. And see how I staggered mine a little bit? You don't have to do that. You could put it right here if you want. But I think it looks more appealing to the eye if you stagger it like that. Okay, kiddos. Good luck writing your letter. I'm so excited to see them. When you post your letter, you can post just the written response or just a portion of it. I won't read your letter if you don't want me to, but do not post your envelope because I don't want to see your addresses, and they probably don't want me to either for safety reasons, okay? So you can just send me a snippet of your letter, or you can even show me just the start of your letter, your format, and happy writing. Thanks for joining, friends.